All Arkansas, all sports. It's more sports.
Hey, welcome into the show. What's going on, everybody? I'm Wes Moore. Glad you're with us tonight. Tonight, we're going to talk some high school football in a bit. We have the top 10 rankings to look at and the individual classification rankings. That media poll came out earlier, and I want to pull that up and talk about some of the rankings and what I think, and if I disagree with some of them, and we'll have fun with the rankings. We'll do that every Wednesday night from here on out, talk a little high school football. But we're going to talk a little Razorback football too. They got a big one with Ole Miss coming up Saturday night at 6, and we got former Razorback tight end Blake Kern joining us. What's up, Blake? How are
Not
you?
much, not much. How's it going? Thanks for having me.
Oh, you bet. Glad to catch up with you. I always enjoy talking football with you over the years, and now's a good time, I think, to start talking about this team. Blake, they passed their first two tests in my mind. They did what they were supposed to do against Alabama, A&M, Arkansas State. Let me start there. What are your thoughts on this team 2 weeks in?
First game of the year, there's obviously a little jitters that they're going to have to get over. First game in front of the home crowd in Fayetteville, good-sized crowd it looked like. I was watching it here in the old back porch here in Clinton, Arkansas. But it was a great atmosphere. It seemed like the team did what they had to do. Started out sluggish, they're really just hitting people that they never hit before, and that's always exciting early in football season. And then, Arkansas State comes to Little Rock and they take the bus down there, and that's always been cool to me, kind of traditional bus ride, not hopping on the plane. And really, it's overwhelming for some of them kids' first home game. They're coming to Fayetteville, first game day environment, and then they get a taste of going on the road without all the stress and hustle and bustle of what it takes to play on the road. And then Arkansas State, man, obviously a big game for them. But the Hogs did what the Hogs do.
What do you think of this offense and Bobby Petrino, Taylon Green in year two?
Yeah, I think anytime Bobby Petrino was before my time, but obviously they have a lot of carryover with some of the GAs and stuff that I had whenever I was up there. But Bobby, he just runs a tight ship. I don't know if he's calmed down in his later years. I don't know, but he runs a tight ship. And Taylon Green coming back, man, he's just a statue back there, and he looks the part. And he's athletic, and he's running away from guys that, man, in the SEC, who knows if they're going to chase him down. And I have high expectations for him, and I really like his frame. I really like him as a person. But just looking forward to getting to see him play some SEC football on the road down there in Hotty Toddyville. I don't know. I'm just excited. It's kind of, as an Arkansas fan, you sit back and you kind of think about just past experiences that I've had and how exciting it is to go on the road. And mostly new players in today's college football. The transfer portal didn't really have any part of that whenever I was in school. But whenever you're having to transform your roster every year in, year out, Sam Pittman's done a great job, I think, and he's retained his staff, which I think is huge too, on trying to get guys to commit to come play with us.
Yeah, you played under Coach Pittman for a couple of years. What's he like as a head coach? And, people have their opinions of him, and I think there are some misconceptions about Coach Pittman as a coach. What do you
Yeah,
think?
I mean, he come from a background of offensive line, and you know how just it's really the grunt work of football, and you're in the trenches, and it's hard. It's hard. Playing football is hard at any level, but in the SEC, you got to have the depth, you got to have the understanding. And Coach Pittman, man, he does a great job in getting his guys motivated, and they play for the state. And you don't hear that whenever you hear all these teams across the country and all the problems they have, and the kids transferring in and out, and it's hard to manage as a head coach, I'm sure, but as a fan base and everything else, Sam Pittman, he's for this state, and the players, he coaches them to make the state proud, and that's something. Whenever I was there, we laid the foundation for that. And we knew what was coming down the road. But my senior year, we went through a lot of adversity throughout our time there. And then Sam got there and he turned it around, and we were all playing as one team. And it was awesome to be a part of that. And honestly, Coach, he's the guy for the job. And whenever he's not the guy for the job, he's not going to get upset. He's going to go down to Hot Springs and watch the horses run. You know what I mean?
I do
So
know.
it's cool. It's cool. I mean, I haven't talked to him Since I got done playing, I've kept in touch with some of the staff that's still intact there. But Coach Pittman, I just can't say enough about just the genuine person he is. He cares about you. And yeah, I do trust that he is the guy, you know. Um, and until he's not, and he's got a place down there in Hot Springs as well. That's pretty cool.
How 2021? That was your last year, right? The
Yep.
Outback Bowl, Penn State
Yes,
last
sir.
game.
Yep.
That must be a heck of a way to go out, right there.
Yeah, yeah. I got there whenever it was Bielema, and we played in the Belt Bowl, so I got a little bit of the bowl activity and the bowl scene and being in a different place just with your 105 people that you take. And that's kind of the goal that we set out our senior year. And I noticed that you had Hayden Henry on. Hayden was a part of that class too, and what a phenomenal football player he was. Borderline crazy man out there, but yeah, all of them guys. Grant, he's doing great. Um, just try to keep up with them from afar. That's kind of what I strive to do is just keep in touch with them when I can.
What was 2020 like playing in those three-quarter empty stadiums?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I think most of them did the right thing and had them half full or whatever. But we went to some places that were rocking. you know but it was different. Family couldn't be there, and that was hard. Some of them guys, I grew up an hour away from campus, so my parents were up there frequently every game that they could go to. But some of them guys, whenever you only get 4 tickets, and that's all the opportunity you have, most of your family's not able to watch you except for on TV. But it was definitely a crazy time to be playing college football, from all the restrictions and everything. And I'm glad we're past that now.
You went through some crazy stuff. I mean, Bielema, Morris, COVID, Pittman coming in.
Yep. Yeah.
You survived though.
Yeah. Yeah. Got an extra year of college football. That's not going to happen very many more times. It was a good experience. My entire time on the hill, man. Grew up Razorback fan, grew up going to games, uncles, dad, everybody pushed me, and that was never really a destination spot to me until the opportunity. Barry Lunny, he's at Illinois now. He was a huge part of that early on growth, as a football player and as a person. He kind of laid the foundation in the tight end room that we were going to do everything the right way, and that's just kind of how it all started. And then whenever he left, I was fortunate. He stayed through Bielema and Morris, and then whenever Pittman got hired, he had left and went to UTSA. But a lot of them position groups and stuff, it was kind of a revolving door of players and coaches. And Coach Lonnie, he kind of gathered us all up and said he wasn't going nowhere. And then obviously, whenever you get an opportunity like he got, you can't blame him. He's doing great.
Yeah, it's fun to watch some of these guys, whether it's Bielema or even Tim Horton at Air Force. You got
Yep.
the Trailer at UTSA. So
Yep.
there's a lot of coaches around still out there coaching. Hey,
Yeah, you watch college football now, and it's like they pan across the sideline, and you're like, oh wow, that guy was my strength coach back then, or Coach Herbert, Ben Herbert, he's with the Chargers now, left and went to Michigan, and man, what just a networking tree that you get in college athletics and meeting different people and people influencing you.
Oldham at Purdue. Just thought about that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
I wanted to ask you about playing in Oxford and Ole Miss. What's that place like?
Raucous crowd. Raucous crowd. You go down there and you're probably staying. You get off the plane. I forget where we flew into down there. It might have been Memphis or something. Then we bust to our hotel and going in that day. I don't remember. I think it was a 2:30 game. And unbelievable atmosphere down there. Unbelievable. When you're going in the SEC, I mean, it's one of the most unique experiences I've ever had. Coming from Lamar, Arkansas, where we're playing in front of 4 or 5,000 on a big game, and then you just go on the road, and it's like you just brought who you brought, and that's everybody that you have to win the game and celebrate with after the game, and hope it goes your way. But all the stars have to align on the road. You got to be disciplined, and first road test, big road test.
There's, to me, covering the team on the road, no better feeling than watching the team win and all the home team fans leave, and it's just Razorback fans there inside the stadium.
Yep.
When you go to Oxford, there's actually a lot of Razorback fans that go, but to celebrate with your small group of fans winning on opponent's territory, that it doesn't get much better than that.
Right behind enemy lines.
Yeah, that maybe
Yeah.
they're doing that. You feel good about Saturday's game?
I do. We've actually got a wedding, which I'm not. We got a wedding to go to. I'm going to try to catch it, catch what I can. For sure, we'll have it recorded. I'm still an old school recording guy, so.
What do you record on?
We got DirecTV. DirecTV. What I can't catch, my wife, she holds down the DVR a lot, but I try to at least catch some games that I can't watch in person.
Making sure you didn't have a VCR still.
No. I wish I still had one of them clickers that we had back on campus, though, where you could watch film, man. It speeds up the game a lot.
Yeah, you'd break it down and could really critique some of these players. How about
and since I quit, Wes, honestly, that's been the biggest thing is like whenever my brother-in-law, he's a coach at Jessieville, and whenever we get together, we're always talking ball, but whenever you're out of it for so long, you know how it gets,
I want to ask you about the tight ends, and because last week we got seeing the tight ends involved a little bit in the second half. Rohan Jones, man, he's got a little speed. Did you see him catch that pass up the sideline for a touchdown?
Yeah, some explosive plays by him, and they work that every day. They work the sideline catch and get upfield, and it's just awesome to see that stuff translate. Is he a transfer or is he a freshman?
No,
okay.
He's FCS ball. Montana State, I believe it was, played the championship game. But
good for him. Good for him. Yep.
Yeah, I think what kind of weapon can that be to have a tight end that fast in Petrino's offense?
Man, you think about Petrino and Sam Pittman, and you think like, okay, run game's going to be solid, but whenever you can implement that run game on some type of play action and keep the defense honest, and we've got guys that can run and catch the ball and also be willing to block, that's awesome. That's like the Swiss Army knife of football, and if you got a good one, you see it in the NFL all the time. The good tight ends are going to get found, and once he gets a couple balls like that, and Taylon Green can trust him, and he can just sling him the ball anywhere on the field, and he can make him a play or get the first down when it's needed. That's the Swiss Army knife of football, and you can't hardly beat it.
I was going to ask you, and I forgot a minute ago, because you played a while. You had several seasons. What's your favorite memory?
Man, I caught the touchdown fake field goal against Alabama at Bama, and that probably tops it. But winning on the road was always fun to me. Going on the road, seeing the colossal stadiums that you play in the SEC. There's just so many good ones. The group of guys that we had that stayed, Tyson Morris, Grant, Hayden Henry, all them guys that we kind of went through it all together. And different stages of our career was good and it was bad and it was terrible. But whenever we all our senior year was definitely the best experience of my time on the Hill. You
said you keep up with some of your coaches. You keep up with Chad Morris?
I don't. I don't. No, I have not. I have not extended anything to that nature.
And I probably got in trouble from a lot of fans for even saying those two words, but I apologize to all of y'all. Sorry about that, bringing up bad memories. Hey, you said you were in Clinton. We're about to talk some high school football, and Clinton's got a nice team this year. Have you gone to check them out?
They do. No, I talked to Coach Dufresne down at the barbershop. Me and him, I try to go once a week, twice a week, just to kind of catch up on the gossip. But last time I was in there, me and Coach Dufresne had a good conversation. And man, he's been here so long. Coach Dufresne, he's a legend here at Clinton. He's got a son named Brody that's playing quarterback, and he's a stud. He's played a lot of football. I think he's started since his sophomore year. And then last year he had a really good year. And this year, I think they played Heber the other day, and that's like a big rivalry for them. So I know they're excited. Coach Dufresne, he could talk about it a while after the Hebrew win, but no, it was good to see him. And I have not made it to a game. I think they play at home tomorrow, but may make it down there. Don't know.
Well, this was a pleasure. Blake, I had a ton of fun. I told you I'd only keep you about 10 minutes. We went 15 minutes, but
awesome.
It was very good. I enjoyed it. If you enjoyed it, I want to have you back sometime and talk some more Razorback football.
Yes, sir, for sure.
Hey, great job. Thanks, Blake.
Thank
I
you.
appreciate you.
Thank you, Wes.
Have a good
Appreciate it.
night. Blake Kern joining us. Man, that was cool. I do want to talk some high school football. I said we would do that. The new rankings are out for this week, and I'll share the screen with you so you can see these high school football rankings, the top 10 overall, and then also we've got the individual classifications that we can take a look at real quick. We'll start in 7A, of course, and this is over on Fearless Friday. They do a good job, my guys over there, on putting up the rankings every week. This is the media poll. Media across the state of Arkansas vote on this poll every week, and I've been a part of this for years now, and really enjoyed the job that they do for putting this out. Bryant, of course, number one in 7A. Bentonville, number two. Can't disagree with that whatsoever. The gauntlet that Bryant's already gone through, beating Benton, and then Newton, Georgia last week. Bryant was actually our high school football team of the week this week, but man, Bentonville and their win over Conway, they deserve to be at least number two. I love that team in Fayetteville. How about the 7A West this year? So improved. And you see, not ranked in the top five, but getting votes is Bentonville West. And Bentonville West hung with Greenwood in week one. And then last week just took it to Conway in Conway. And that shows that 7A West is pretty deep this year with those four teams at the top. And that's not to mention some of the other teams. Conway coming in at number five, Rogers four. I would, well, I did. I disagreed. I have Conway number four in my poll and Rogers number five. To me, Conway, even though it was not the performance they wanted against Bentonville at Bentonville, I don't think they. I think they deserve to be number four, right there behind Fayetteville. And 6A, Greenwood number one, no argument there. They passed their first two tests, had a tough game in week one against Bentonville West, but bounced back and won big last week. Shiloh Christian number two. Benton slides in at three. Their one loss, their only game is the Salt Bowl. They'll be back in action this week when they take on North Little Rock. Mountain Home at four, Marion at five. I had those switched, Marion at four, Mountain Home at five, but no big disagreement here. Southside Lake Hamilton and El Dorado getting votes there in 6A. Down in 5A, I'm good with those 6A rankings. Number one is Parkview, got to be with the back-to-back state championships. They have the tough test, big game against Bryant. How about that? Number one, Bryant in 7A. Number one, Parkview in 5A. Joe T. Robinson. Speaking of big games, Robinson and Lakeside. We'll hear from their head coaches tomorrow night on More Sports. They meet in Lakeside tomorrow night. That is a great game. Two of the best teams in 5A. Morrilton, their quarterback slinging it around, had Cody McNabb on out of bounds on the buzz earlier this week. They're off to a really good 2-0 start. Farmington lost the game to a 7A opponent last week. They slip a little bit. But 1, 2, 3, I don't have a problem with those rankings whatsoever. Greenbrier, keep an eye on what they're doing. I'd also mention Searcy. I think what Zach Clark is doing up in Searcy, they are off to a 2-0 start. Beat Valley View, really got off to a great start last week, first half, and held on for the victory. But Searcy's a team to keep an eye on in 5A. 4A, you got Arkadelphia. They got a tough test this week going to Lake Hamilton. Badgers, defending state champs. I got them at number one. Dardanelle, I think, is number two, especially after their win over Elkins last week. Had Coach Vega on the Friday night high school football recap show. He was very excited about their win over Elkins. Mills, Comets have gotten off to a slow start in their first two games, and they just come roaring from behind and win convincingly. Southside Batesville, another strong team last year, so close to getting to the finals. You know what? You can throw those five into a hat and just pull them out in any order. You can make an argument for any order. I think that is the cream of the 5A. And look at Clinton getting some votes. We were just talking about the Yellow Jackets with Blake Kern. Let's go down to 3A. Salem, impressive win last week. Can't say that enough. Fordyce, the Red Bugs deserve to be right there. Charleston has a big game this week against Ozark. Mansfield, Newport, Greyhounds rolling. You got Boonville, Glenrose, Mayflower, Rivercrest receiving votes. But I like the 3A rankings. I'm not going to criticize anybody's vote with the way that came out. In 2A, you got EPC, Junction City, and Smackover play this week. Man, that's a fun game down in South Arkansas. Smackover has a chance to make a little bit of a statement. There's Carlisle at 3, Mount Ida at 4. Desark had a nice win. They're at number 5. So yeah, I'm fine the way that shakes out. That's a look at this week's rankings. The overall, pretty standard. Bryant, Bentonville, Fayetteville, 1, 2, 3. The 7A teams got Greenwood coming in at number 4 overall in the state. And then Rogers and Conway. I would flip flop, like I said earlier. Conway 5, Rogers 6. Shiloh Christian. Can't wait for that Shiloh Christian Greenwood game later this season. That's going to be huge. Parkview 8. Tough test this week against Bryant. I wouldn't penalize them at all if they lose that game. And if they win, whoa, they're going to jump way up. Joe T. Robinson at 9. They got Lakeside, like I said. Bentonville West appearing in the top 10 for the first time after their big win over Greenwood and their close loss against number 4 Greenwood. So that's your overall top 10. Very solid top 10. Benton just outside the top 10. Marion knocking on the door, looking in. All right, there you go. That's a look at the media poll this week for the high school football rankings in the state of Arkansas. We'll do that every Wednesday, and I'll give you my opinion, and we can debate it and talk about it and tell you how I would have voted on the high school football rankings. Coming up tomorrow night, this is really cool. We're going to have Lakeside's coach, Coach Rock, joining us, and Robinson's coach, Coach Upperton, Coach Up, and on the same time. We're going to talk a little high school football with them, talk about the matchup they have. Third time that they're going to play in the last year. They played last year non-conference, met in the playoffs where Lakeside ended Joe T. Robinson's season. Now they'll play a third time, and wouldn't surprise me at all if they meet for a fourth time later on in the 5A playoffs. But they will join More Sports tomorrow night to talk about their matchup on Friday night. And then Friday night, we'll do it again. It was a success. I tinkered with it. I wasn't sure what would happen. But we're going to invite 10 high school football coaches to join us live after their game. It'll be a later start, probably start around 9:45 when some of these games start going final. And then we'll just keep going until the final coach calls in. And we'll have the scoreboard. We'll check the scoreboard. So kind of your high school football recap Friday night after the games. Be sure to join us on YouTube and Facebook and Twitter. If you haven't done it yet, go subscribe on YouTube. More Sports. It's easy to find. We got plenty of videos. If you missed any of the shows, go over there and check them out. And be sure to subscribe and start looking for the shows every night, Monday through Friday, and sometimes on Saturday and Sunday. That's going to do it for tonight. I appreciate everyone for joining us. Be sure to join us tomorrow night for More Sports.
All Arkansas, all sports. It's more sports.